finished the story.
And welcome back to a weird video. Normally it's me and John on a Tuesday talking about Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, blah blah blah. Bit different today. It's me and Teddy.
Yo,
Teddy's
it's me.
back.
I'm back
And
again.
New Japan Pro Wrestling correspondent. Obviously, there was an event last night. We're going to have a bit of a chat about it. Got a bit of a tier list. Your Man United just lost to Arsenal, so I've got to try and cheer myself somehow. And this is it. Wrestling as usual.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Teddy?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm actually feeling very fresh. I'm very surprised at how okay I feel. Because today I went to bed at, I think at like 5:30, 6 a.m. I think I went to sleep. Because this ran at stupid o'clock in the morning for some reason. It started at 3 a.m. Not sure why that is, but
3 a.m. is a bit of a weird time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like WWE and AEW start at 1. So why is this started at 3? We're in California, weird. So it's not. We're in a weird destination either. So
that's really weird then. Well, last night Dana White announced that WWE pay-per-views are going back to Sundays.
Oh, it gets in. That's been. I like that.
That's bad for me.
Oh shit! You work Mondays, don't you?
I work Monday mornings, so now I'm gonna have to book off Mondays. I mean, it's not too much of an issue because then I get Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, and I can kind of like sort myself out for Thursday. But I liked it on a Saturday because then I had Sunday to chill, and then Monday back in work, and then I had 2 days off again. So I don't know. I'm a bit iffy about it. We'll see. I've been liking the Saturday nights.
Yeah, I suppose because they're gonna have that run of like. I quite like the break for the pay-per-view on the Saturday, the day off, and then you've got Raw on the Monday. So what? Then you.
That's what I mean. Because then you're gonna have back to normal pay-per-view on a Sunday, and then stay up for Raw. Although if you were watching SmackDown, it's currently SmackDown on at 1 in the morning, or 1 in the morning, and then the pay-per-view on Sunday night, depending obviously where it is in the country. To be fair, if it's a Sunday and it's in France, for example, or UK, it's going to be on at 6, so that's not an issue.
Yeah.
If it's like SummerSlam or Survivor Series where it's on at 1 in the morning, that's the issue.
So this is why we all need to convert to how NJPW do it, because it's on 9 a.m. in the morning. So it's all done and dusted by dinner time, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you've got the rest of your day.
What show was it? What pay-per-view was it that WWE did? Was it Saudi show? Oh no, Beast from the East.
Yeah, we're in Tokyo.
Remember? Yeah. And it was at 9 in the morning, and by 12, it was chilling. You were done and dusted,
ready for the day. That's what I mean. That's why I quite enjoy NJ. It's just starts at, apart from last night, everything else starts at a reasonable hour. But yeah, it's. But yeah, I've got to admit, mate, the card last night, it was worth it. It was worth how tired I was as when I got up this morning. But
well, that's it. I mean, looking at it, as the people know, I don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. I watch when something big's happening, like Mercedes Moné debuting there when she did. I watched it when Jericho came out after leaving WWE. I watched it. Or when was it Kenny and Ospreay or Kenny and Jericho?
Yeah, Kenny and Jericho. Kenny
and Jericho. I think I watched live.
Yeah.
Kenny and Ospreay, I went back and watched. So when something big happens, I'm one of those that jumps on the bandwagon. Shoot me. I'll go and watch it. Now I'll look through the card. You sent me the card last week because we've been talking about this video and you were going to do it on your own. Then we changed it last minute to do it both of us in a tier list kind of thing, which was a bit better.
Yeah.
And I was looking through it, and I just said to you then, I know about 2, 3. I know somebody in it. We're going to go through him in a minute, but I know at least one person in it, bar the others I told you about. So,
yes.
But as usual, just before we start everything, if you want your WWE merchandise, and you're thinking, do you know what? I need some shorts. I need some CM Punk shorts to rep CM Punk to annoy John. There's only one place to get it. Link in the description below. Click that. Goes to EuroShop. Like the hat that Teddy's wearing. Like my Karrion Kross t-shirt that I'm wearing. And my background's different today. You can see my background. It's just my wardrobe. That's why I always have something there, 'cause it's more exciting than my clothes. But along my bottom here is all my wrestling t-shirts. If you want them like me, go click that link in the description below. Takes you to the EuroShop. Go and help the fellas out. You spend obviously your money on there. We get a little bit back from EuroShop, and we can put it all into this, so we can do more videos for you lot. And follow the socials all in the bottom here. John's just dropped a TikTok of his drawing.
He's just Sam Big looks really good, mate.
He's really good at it. Yeah. It's not getting the love and recognition that it deserves. So go over there, like, comment, save it, share it, do whatever you do on TikTok, and help the fellas out. Because we want to go to WrestleMania in London when it comes.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Lovely. So, Teddy, New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence.
Yep. Out of Ontario.
Talk to me a little beforehand. Before we get into the tail, let's talk to me about the event as a whole. What did you think of it? Was it decent? Obviously, don't tell me what you thought of each match. We're going to do that in a second. But as a whole, as the event, Dave Meltzer rating out of 10. Where you at? I'm
at a solid 9. Solid 9, potentially up there with a 10, mate. It was really good.
Good.
It was extremely good, mate. It was everything just ran. It seemed to run really smoothly. No, as an event, like one match after the other, it was just very quick, and there weren't much breaks in between. Like WWE, when you have you might have a good match, then you'll have a poor match, then you'll have your dead matches. It's apart from, I'll not spoil, as I say, but there is one match on the card that didn't blow me away, and I thought it was really bad, but the rest of it equaled up. And yeah, it was I think this is probably the strongest New Japan show I've seen since coming back into it. Because don't get me wrong, Dontaku last week was really, really good, but the card was spread over 2 nights. This is just a 1-night card, and it was. I'm ready for Dominion, as I say, when we come back later on in the month. So I can't wait for that. Obviously, we've got the advertisement which is still going on for the Best of the Super Juniors. That's the big tournament that's going on right now.
You mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, this event, mate, it's a solid 9. Three matches on this card that everybody needs to go and find afterwards. You can either sign up to NJPW World, or they sometimes put the matches free on YouTube eventually. So keep an eye out, honestly. But yeah, so good. The other thing that NJ have realised that they've started doing that's really good is they give you 1 free match on the card. Every pay-per-view they do 1 free match, and they put it on YouTube to entice people to watch the rest. And it's really clever.
That's a good idea, that.
It's a really, really good idea. And it's generally they're not rubbish matches either. Like, it was Zack Sabre Jr. versus Jeff Cobb was last week's. This week's is Lance Archer versus Jeff Cobb, which is a big match in itself. So it's but yeah, it's been solid, mate. Because obviously, as we know, AEW's come along, and a lot of the talent that made NJPW great has ended up over there, and NJ's been kind of left behind, and that's why I'll be very honest, straight. That's why I kind of fell out of love with it a little bit, because all the guys I really liked had gone. So what's the point in watching this anymore when I've got this new shiny toy that I quite like? But honestly, they're on the everything I've seen on this. NJPW is fine. I think they're over that lull. We're now on to very good, let's say good times, and I think I'm not 100% sure on the Strong and the NJ stuff. Having 2 separate promotions, one in America, one over in Japan, I feel maybe it shows by this card, when you mix them both together, you get the best results. So maybe shrinking into one. It's a bit like when WWE were very flat on the ground, where they don't many big stars, and it's pretty pointless having Raw and SmackDown, where everything would just if everyone had a merged roster, it would have been mint. But as I say, they decided to keep it separate. I think NJ needs to take a lesson from that and look at this card and go, what made this card as better than anything we've done, and do that moving forward, which I think they are going to look to do, because looking at it, there's a lot more talent coming over. Like you had Nick Nemeth. I will use his proper name.
Dolph.
Yeah, he'll always be Uncle
He's
Ziggles
always Dolph. He's always going to be Dolph or Ziggles.
Yeah, but yeah, he was obviously over last week in Japan, and you've got people coming over now a lot more, like Jack Perry coming over from AEW is a huge one, which I'll speak about a little bit later. But yeah, it's a good time to be an NJPW fan, and if you're looking to get into NJ, this would probably be your best place to start again, because you've got recognisable names which you've seen before.
That's what I was about to say. Well, I asked you before we started, is it worth me going to watch? Because I have a website or I watch things on that I can't get, and it is on there. I've just checked, and you said yeah. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow while I'm in work. I'm going to have it on in the background, and I'm going to watch it. Even if I miss something that I feel like I need to go back over, I will do. I'll just rewatch it tomorrow while I'm editing. But yeah, no, it looks like a sick card. Like, I don't know much, like I said, about New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I saw clips on TikTok of Mustafa Ali and Leo Rush, which I really liked. Like, yeah. I actually really liked. I saw a few things on TikTok through the John Moxley and is it Umino?
Shota Umino, yeah.
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 And I don't like John Moxley matches. If anyone knows me, then knows I don't like watching them. I just think it's just blood, and that's it. I watched a few bits on it. It looked decent, so I will go back on it. Like I said, I know one person from at least every match. So, but we're going to do a tier list, and as we're going to do the tier list, it's not just going to be typical. We're going to put it in there because of this reason. Teddy's going to go through the match and what he thought of it.
Yeah.
And we're going to put it in a tier, which we're going to show you in a minute. And we'll see where Teddy thinks each match goes. So, as you can see on the screen, we have each tier. We've gone from we've got Dave Meltzer's 5-star match. We all know if it's Will Ospreay or Kenny Omega, it goes in there.
Yep.
We got fantastic, good, meh. You know, it was okay. I didn't really care for it. Did Tony Khan book this?
Yeah, because
which is normally it's shit. Why have you done it?
Yeah, exactly. And
so, as you can see, we've got the match card at the bottom there, and we will. I'm going to move it up just in case, and we're going to go through each one, starting from left to right, because that's the order the match card was in. And Teddy's going to tier list it. So we'll start off with there's 2 pre-show matches, but you said you wanted to talk about one mainly. And so talk to us about the pre.
So the only reason I'm not doing the first one is it's because I just don't know. I don't know either, and it were more of a match that knowing fans are coming into the stadium, and it's not really a nothing match, and it weren't nothing to write home about. If it were on here, I'd probably put it in meh, just out of pure fairness. No, because I don't know if it was a good match for the people that were in it, or if they generally with New Japan, the first match is they have. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. Have you heard about the Young Lions?
No.
So the Young Lions is like it's like NXT for NJ. So it's where they're training. It's like
the development kind of thing.
Yeah, the 2 development people, and they have a fight against each other. Generally, they can only use very basic moves. It's kind of evolved since the olden days where they are a little bit more high flying nowadays, where it used to always been like the old school, like sort of Young Lions, you used to do arm drags and like Boston Crabs, and that were about your lot. It were very basic wrestling. So for these 2, I just didn't want to slag someone off. It's the new, the potentially new.
Yeah, because you didn't really know much about them, so no, that's fair enough.
Yeah, and I think
not like me with AEW then.
Yeah.
So then the other pre-show match was Leo Rush and Mustafa Ali.
Which we definitely know these 2.
I definitely know both of them. I never liked Ali in WWE. I didn't get the whole thing that he was doing. Then when he was with Retribution, didn't get whatever that was. And now he's in TNA. and he's doing amazing things in TNA. I really like what he's doing in there. What was this? Obviously, Leo Rush has been in and out the ring. He 1 minute he was retired, next minute he wasn't. He's doing albums.
So I really
What was
love
the
Leo
match?
Rush. I love Leo Rush, right? And he's very much, if he could get out of his own way, he'd be amazing. Like, I don't. It's really strange. Like, this match is amazing, by the way. It's so good. Like, it's very short. It only went for 10 minutes. Like, it was 10 minutes and they're over and done with. So it was a short match, but it was really, really good. And you can tell how good both of the guys were. So the only little bit of a gripe I've got is I've got a gripe with Ali at the minute. I don't know if you know about this. So
No.
do you know the Best of the Super Juniors that I mentioned? They were
Mhm.
going to have Ali in it, but Ali refused to lose. So they
What a dick. See, then he does stuff like that pisses me off.
yeah. So he refused to take a pin or lose a match. So obviously they couldn't have him involved, which is why he got booked on this show. And I'm assuming this is why this is a pre-show match and not a main card match, because he's probably angered someone within NJ. They probably had an agreement in play, and this is where they've used him for it. So I'm
Right.
hoping this relationship can get better, because I did like. So I saw the potential in Ali when he was in WWE, and he's very underutilized. But he's one of those where I couldn't tell you how to fit, like what to do with him, which I get what you
Okay.
mean. So no, you said you didn't really get him. I'm the
Yeah,
exact same.
it was just all weird, wasn't it? Like, and then he was supposed to be in the spot that Kofi was, but then he got injured.
Yeah, and then we got Kofi Mania, which is
Could you really imagine Ali as WWE champion?
nah. It wouldn't have took. I don't think it would have took off the same way.
It would have
It
been
would
like
have just,
Jinder.
yeah. Don't.
Don't hinder Jinder.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
yeah,
the
no,
match is really good, mate, and I think it probably would have been higher if it would have gone on a bit longer. So I'm gonna go. It was a meh. It was
meh.
meh.
Okay.
Yeah, it was okay. Ali got the win with some shenanigans. He rolled Leo up, used the turnbuckle as a leaning, as like for the
Yeah.
foot on the ropes essentially.
Yeah.
For the 3. Then after the match, I do have to mention that Ali went for the handshake. Leo pushed him away. He hit him from behind, and then the lights went black, which I assumed was going to be someone coming out to challenge.
Oh.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was Taker at first. Well, I thought Taker had attacked Leo when the lights came back on. And Leo's, I've not seen this gimmick yet myself, but I've seen other things on the indies, like after doing a little bit of research. He's got like Finn's got the demon. He's got this it's called the Black Heart, and he came back and you're all crazy. He had black goop coming out of his mouth, and you were staring crazily at Ali. So I don't think we're over and done with here. I think there is probably maybe something going on further on down the line. But yeah, it was interesting. The gimmick looked very strange, so I'm up for anything that's a bit different. I'm up for. So I don't. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a bit more time. These guys could easily go up a couple of tiers easily because the match itself was very. Leo. Leo was very clean in the ring. He's so smooth. It was, but yeah, very very good match, mate. It was, but like I say, because of the screwy finish and the shortness, it's going in meh for me.
Fair play. I can see him, probably not, but I can see him in at one of the TNA pay-per-views, maybe doing something for the X Division title.
That might be setting up for, because they've all got a good relationship, NJ. And
yeah, they have, yeah.
So
yeah, that'd be cool. So then we start off on the main show. I've got the card open, so if I'm looking up to my left or right, whichever way it is on the camera, it always swaps. I have got the card, so I'm looking at the card. We have the House of Torture, which is Jack Perry. Now,
Ren Narita.
Takeshita, if I get the names wrong, I'm so sorry. Narita and Evil.
Yep.
Against Chaos and the DKC.
So DKC is the young lion out of LA. He's one of the LA Dojo young lions. So
okay.
He was my first time seeing him this time around. So he was really good. He reminded me very much of like a Jungle Boy. That sort of character, that sort of No, like high, like he's good in the ring. He was very, to say he's in the development scheme. He was very, very established. Like he was very, very good in the ring. Rocky Romero was always great. I've loved Rocky for ages, and I think for me, Rocky Romero, if you look back on the history books of wrestling, is an unsung. He's the guy that took the Young Bucks and everyone over to NJ. So a lot of things don't happen without Rocky Romero. He was the one that first popularized like going over to Japan. So
Yeah.
he's a very underrated person in the industry. Then you have Ishii, who you've probably seen on AEW. I'm guessing you've heard of Ishii, Matt, like from.
From here, yeah, he was on Collision the other week, were he?
Yeah, he's been on a Collision a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's so this shocks me. Like with Ishii, he's absolutely tough as nails. He's so hard hitting. But he's about, I would say he's a little bit taller than me. He's not much taller than me. He's not a big guy. Yeah, but on TV he looks like he's about 6 foot, but he's definitely not. He's about 5 foot odd. But yeah, he's only small. And then you've got the House of Torture, which I didn't really get into this in the video, but NJPW love a faction. If you're not in a faction, you don't really matter. So House of Torture is I'd probably say the most heelish like sort of team or faction. And they're like a fraction of. This is why I need this video with Bullet Club, because technically they're part of Bullet Club, but they're their own thing, and it's really odd. It's really weird. It's a very strange like thing. This is why Bullet Club needs to tie it up a little bit. There needs to be some housekeeping with the Bullet Club, hopefully in the future. So these three. So Evil is the leader. Ren Narita is one of the 3 top prospects, I'd probably say. If anyone's going to take over from Okada, it's going to be these 3 on this. All 3 of these people are on this card. One of them is Ren Narita, one of them is Shota, and the other one's Tsuji. As I say, they're the 3 main sort of Japanese, sort of the guys that are going to be next, sort of Okada, in Tanahashi, those sort of level superstars. Those 3 have got the most chance of that happening.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But yeah, and then Jack Perry's got involved, and so it made me sad when Jack Perry turned up and become a part of the Elite, because I've loved NJPW Jack Perry. I just love the whole presentation. He comes out wearing a goat's head, and then he's like got scapegoat on his arm, and he swears at the crowd. He's like very heelish to the crowd, and he's just plays it. It's better than anything I've ever seen him do in AEW, like any of his work in AEW.
Well, I mean, it wasn't great anyway, was it? To be quite honest, beforehand.
But I think them acknowledging him as the scapegoat was a clever move, because he was. But I feel he's a lot better person than I am, because if Tony Khan would have done to me what
I would have fucked off.
I would have fucked off to New Japan, realised how good I've got it over there, and stayed there, because
I would have gone to my rival. I would have gone to his rival and gone, fuck you, do you know what? I'm going to go to them.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I tried to anyway.
So for me, I hope that he sticks around in NJ and does some more stuff with NJPW. It does look that way. I'm hoping that they are now maybe gonna, because I can't see this Elite and stuff going on with Jack Perry involved for months and months and months. But I'm hoping it doesn't, because I've just got a horrible feeling we're gonna get. I know we're not supposed to be talking about AEW. We can talk about that on Tuesday's show. I'll follow this up on Tuesdays, but I've got a lot of thought and things about that sort of angle. So I'll try and keep it to a minimum on here. But yeah, so but yeah, Ren Narita, I mentioned, he's the more. So you've got Tsuji, who's like the powerhouse, sort of the powerhouse. Then you've got Shota, who's a very good showman. He's very flat. He's very flashy. He's got that look. He's got the charisma, and I'd say Ren Narita's got the technical ability. So each one of them are very strong in like their own field. But Ren Narita is very, very good. But the thing that worries me with Ren Narita is a background part to Evil right now, and he doesn't need that he needs to his own. He needs to either take over this faction or he needs to split and go his own way, because it worries me when good talent is stuck behind someone else. And the best thing that I can point to is like knowing the rocks in the background of Farouk. That were never going to that needed to change, and it's very similar in this situation where Ren Narita needs to get out of Evil's way, or the vice. Well, Evil needs to get out of
vice versa.
Vice versa. But this was in my video. This is a standard 6-man tag. It's just to keep everyone ticking along. They need to put some names on a card, and this is what they kind of do. They just do a 6-man tag match. It's very step by step. Everyone has their portions of the match to look good, and everyone goes home happy essentially. So I'm gonna put these matches in Did Tony Khan book this, and say these matches are this is there, because they're just nothing matches. Nothing really happens. It's pretty pointless, all in all. But I like having.
I know we said we'll keep AEW at a minimum, or WWE, but was it a couple of weeks ago after WrestleMania he booked Brian Cage and a bunch of random people against Adam Copeland, Wardlow, like just random people for no fucking reason whatsoever. Kind of like that idea.
Yeah, this is exactly that, mate. It's just keeping people taking the big names. Like Ishii's a big name, the Evil, Ren Narita, Jack Perry are big names. Rocky's got history, and it's just a game on a card, mate. I think it's just put a big name on the card. So it's Dig Tony card, but this is the right level for that, definitely.
Fairs. And people at home, the reason I keep referring back to AEW, because if Ted can kind of compare it to what WWE or AEW doing, or even TNA at any point, then easier for me to understand, kind of thing. So, then we had it was tag team galore on this show. I'm not gonna lie.
So this is what I mean.
Be crying in his fucking cornflakes. You had West Coast Wrecking Crew against Tom Lawler and Fred Rosser. Now I've heard of Tom Lawler. I know who Fred Rosser is. I didn't know the other people.
Yeah, so I was the same, mate. So I've seen Tom Lawler wrestle on a couple of indie cards generally when you go to WrestleCon at Mania, they have like wrestling going on, and he's been on a couple of cards that I've been to. And I went to an MLW show when I did Mania in New York, and he was on that as well. And
okay,
so he's one of the people that you'll kind of get this. With you've mentioned about Dave Meltzer. When people say that someone's really good and then you don't see it. I've seen enough of Tom Lawler now to say I do not understand the hype around him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't. So he was throwing punches in this match, right? And I'm not even going to... This is not me exaggerating. When you go back and watch this show, watch how he punches. And they are very Shane McMahon-esque. As someone from the UFC... and we've got examples like Ronda, and we've got Lesnar, and other people like that. The punches are usually very solid, but he punches like Shane. He punches like Shane, which was a massive. It's a massive red flag.
Okay. Does he sweat like Shane?
He doesn't know. He doesn't know, unfortunately.
Well, that's good then.
Actually, that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he doesn't sweat like Shane. But so I don't really get it. The West Coast Wrecking Crew were really good. I'm gonna go and search out some of their work because they were really good in this match, and I feel really bad for them because they carried two. I'm not sure, and I want to go and I haven't seen anything today, but I think Fred Rosser got injured partway through because he kept going. His knee were hurt. And I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because this is the first time I've really seen him properly outside of WWE, and it was pretty good in WWE. And I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that this was a bad night. But I didn't enjoy this match whatsoever. Everything felt very clunky. When it was very smooth when Wrecking Crew were on top, but when it was the other way around, the match was very clunky. The tag team wrestling were very I know clunky's maybe not the right word, but you get what I mean. Where it's not.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It feels very broken. It's not just ticking along. It was just very all over the gaff. But yeah, so I didn't enjoy it whatsoever, mate. It was. But yeah, I'm very much. I can honestly say Lawler's not great for me. But Fred Rose, I will probably give another chance and see where he goes. But yeah, this was for me, mate. Another did Tony Khan but this again because it was just a nothing.
Really?
Yeah, it would. I know I put two matches down there and I've said how great this card is, but the matches from here on in get better, and better and better.
Okay.
Right? There's no. These two are the worst matches. Like it started off like say really. I don't know what to do with that Ali match because it was better than meh. Can we put Ali up to good? Actually,
Yeah, you can change it if you want.
Yeah, we're gonna put that up to good because I don't think that match was way better than the other two that I put down there. And
plus, like you said, if it's setting up a story,
yeah, it was good.
then it's the start of it, innit? Kind of thing.
That's what I'm thinking. But yeah. So Tom Lawler and Fred Rosa, I'll probably see what they do next, but I'm not holding my breath because I'm just like, it was just really bad, mate. It was just really, really bad. Like it went for me. But yeah.
Fair enough. Then another tag match, but this is for the Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. Gorillas of Destiny, GOD, as we mentioned on Tuesday's video. Wednesday's video because it went out Wednesday. Yeah. Against TMDK.
So, you might know TMDK because they was in NXT as TM61, and I know here's a fact.
Oh, is that who they are?
Yeah, TM61. This is these two.
Shane Thorne and what was the other one called? Nick Miller.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Mikey Nichols. He's called in NJ. But yeah, it's these are the two. TM61. TM61 or the Mighty, as they were eventually called. They are really like since. So what happened is obviously Mikey Nichols left way before Shane Thorne did.
Yes, he did because he was Slapjack Warrior.
So this is mad if you think about it. There's two members of Retribution on this card.
They're still wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
So Dijak as well, and he's in WWE.
Oh fucking hell! No, they used had the lightning a second ago. It's just literally flashed it.
It's Stockport now.
Yeah, he's just hit Stockport now. That was mad. But yeah, so we actually have two members of Retribution on this card, which I find absolute madness. But yeah, like so this match was really confusing because obviously me and John spoke about Hikuleo, who is part of GOD.
Yes.
He's Tanga and Tama's younger brother, like coming over and been in the new bloodline. But Hikuleo and Phantasmo won this match, which means he's a champion, which would say to me he's not going anywhere anytime soon. But I was under the impression his contract ran out at the end of May. So it really took me by surprise.
Shane Haste on that picture there, I thought it was Roderick Strong when I'm looking at it. He looks an awful lot like Roderick Strong on the actual picture.
He does.
I was like, oh, no way, it's Roderick Strong in it. And then now you just told me that. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
But yeah, well, I've been calling him Shane Helms all day, like in the background when we've been speaking. So
yes,
I'm doing no better.
Message saying it's not Shane Helms, and I'm like, yeah, I thought it was weird the Hurricane was wrestling.
Yeah, I think that's just me wishful thinking. But yeah, I love these four. Like these four have tagged quite a lot. Like had matches quite a lot over the last few months, and they're very, very. No, and it's like Usos and like New Day where it's all very smooth and they're very.
Yeah.
They know each other's movesets like out like back in their hand because there's really like cool like. So this is one of my problems with wrestling, but it's also I like this like. I like big moves, but you know, like big moves don't matter anymore. Like so,
yeah.
So El Phantasmo, who's such a great high flyer, is best person I could probably compare him to is it Rich Swann in TNA?
Yeah, TNA.
Yeah, no, he's a high flyer, but he can also like
Yes.
wrestle in the ring as well. Like so,
Yeah.
that's probably my best like way of explaining El Fantasma if you've never heard of him. But yeah, so he was running the ropes. Nichols pulled him down, pulled the leg to trip him when he was running the ropes. So he hit the floor. Hayes then hit him with a drop kick. Then he DDT'd him on the floor, like from the ring. He had his like legs on the ring apron, like Randy Orton like style, but instead of
Randy Orton does his DDT. Okay.
Yeah, so he did that, but from like the ring to the floor, and it looked so brutal. But then that was just like a normal move in the match. So but it was such a really good spot in the match. But yeah, then like I said before, like for some reason, like a God won the match. So God knows what it's like the sort of contracts of Hikuleo is, or is he going? Is he staying? I don't really know what's happening there, but it was a really good match. I'd probably put this in good. It was a good match. It's good for these guys. Got them on the card, got them to a new audience. So yeah, it was good all around, mate. To be fair,
decent. Yeah, I reckon. Obviously, I don't know anything like contracts and stuff, but it wouldn't surprise me if he stays there for a bit because, like, obviously, Bloodline story. And sorry for taking it back to WWE, folks, but you've obviously got they've changed his name. It's not Tonga Lower now, isn't it? And obviously Tama Tonga's just debuted as well. Then you're gonna have Jacob Fatu, and that's a lot of Bloodline members all at once.
Yeah.
So I think they'll wait it off for a bit until your Roman comes back, and then you've got the people that you know with Jimmy, and then they'll throw another one in, which could be him. So that could be October before that happens. So he's got some time to at least get his name there. Then you had, I believe, is it the Strong Women's Championship?
Yeah,
Stephanie Becker versus Alex Windsor.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be open and honest with this one, straight from the off. Not really watched the women's division in NJ. It's quite a new thing since I've come back into it. I know Stephanie Vacur's done loads of stuff in Mexico because I know she's CMLL champion. I think she's the tag champion over there, but I've never seen a match from her. And the only thing I know about Alex Windsor is that she's Will Ospreay's girlfriend. I feel really bad that that's the thing, but yeah, again, heard really good things like from what I've read, because when I found out about the card, I did a bit of reading, did a bit of research in the background, trying to see who these people were, trying to get across who they are, and so everyone that I've really heard anything about Alex Windsor is having a breakout year this year up to this point. Okay. So I was very excited to see where these kind of how the women's division looked in NJ, because it's a relatively new thing. And I'll be honest, mate, these guys could show AEW and WWE how women's wrestling should be. It was so good. They got time to have a proper match. It weren't just a quick 3 to 5 minute match like we're used to on AEW, or WWE getting better again. I know they got bad at one point, but
yeah, there's still issues with it, and again, sorry for taking it back to WWE, but the Candice LeRae has a match against Maxine Dupree. It's 2 minutes and stuff. You still get them matches, and you need to try and get away from that now.
Yeah, I know there's only one women's match on this card, but they gave it the time.
It
was really
good. That it needed.
Yeah, exactly. It was very hard hitting in places, which I like. It showed a different style, to what I'm used to watching. But yeah, Vacur's finish is fucking brutal. It's such a So do you know a package pile driver?
Yeah.
It's like a package pile driver, but she doesn't drop them on their head. She drops them across the knee instead. So it's a really
I think
weird,
I've seen that.
It's a really weird finisher, and it looks brutal when she hits it. You can tell it's a good end of match finisher. There's no coming back from that.
A proper finishing move.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really, really good. Really back and forth for 10. I think it went back 12 minutes, 15 minutes, and it was really good back and forth. Very good near falls here and there. And I completely agree with everything I've read about Alex Windsor's about to go off this year. she is going to go off. I can see they're doing a few more matches for NJ, and then I wouldn't be shocked if she gets a. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets the female match. No, thingy at Forbidden Door.
Yeah,
She gets a
Forbidden
female
Door.
match with potentially Toni Storm or someone, or maybe whoever's the strong the. What's the belt?
TBS.
Yeah, the TBS championship.
Yeah.
She'll be. I wouldn't be shocked if she's the one that fights for that, because she was really, really good, and I think she's got something to bring, 100%. But yeah, so for that, mate, I give it a B. So fantastic in this rating. Yeah, my first fantastic. But yeah, I am going to go and spend some time. I think, I'd say in the coming weeks, gain over a bit more of the NJ women's wrestling. If that's what I've got to expect from the matches that are on them cards, I can't wait to find out more, mate, and watch more.
So then you had, now I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name. It's on your hat. So I'll let you take over that name. You had Bullet Club versus
Los Ingobernables de Japón.
There you
or
go.
LIJ for short, which is...
Let's just do that one. LIJ.
Yeah. So you had the main two members in LIJ. Well, for me, the main two members. You had Naito and you had Tsuji, and then you have Finlay and Kenta. So this one, like I said in the video, as I mentioned earlier, know about keeping people ticking along. This is this sort of match. So Finlay's just won the global title he just beat Nick Nemeth last week. Kenta won the tag belts, the NJPW tag belts. Tsuji lost to Finlay on the first night of Dongtaku. And Naito was in a pointless feud that I'll bring up in a couple of. I'll explain how the match went first, and then we'll get into. I've got a bit of a gripe at the minute with what Naito was doing. So Naito is such a weird guy. Like, so New Japan is, when you go to the wrestling over there, it's very opposite to how a normal wrestling show sort of goes. So you get clapping, you clap a lot. Naito's the only person that I know that comes out and they chant his name. So the music hits and everyone's like, Naito, Naito. Like everybody in the crowd is chanting his name. He's the biggest star that NJ have got right now. And without him, like, where you used to have Okada and Tanahashi, I know Tanahashi's still around, but he's now the president of the company, so he's got more important things going on. Whereas it's Naito, that's your week in, week out guy who flies all over Japan. He's on every show. I love Naito. I've met him twice, and he doesn't speak a word of English, but he's a lovely guy. It's quite funny. We spoke to him. Before the G1 that year. He was at a show in Manchester, and he said he'd win the G1 for me and my friend, and then he went on to win the G1. So nice. I think he wouldn't have won it if it weren't for seeing me or meeting me. But yeah, he's really lovely. And so Tsuji is, like, say, he's one of the three, the three top content, the top people, top future stars. Right. He reminds me very much like Roman, like a Japanese Roman Reigns.
Okay.
His look, how he looks, is sort of the presentation that they've had him win the New Japan Cup this year. He's been pushed quite heavily, and he uses the spear as one of his main moves as well. But he's got that sort of Reigns sort of, like they were saying, he's got a $1 million smile is the one that they used on this show. So, but yeah, but I was very surprised when I went to the show, when I was over there, when I were in Tokyo this a couple of months ago. He was over just as much as Naito. They didn't chant his name when he came out, but there was a good ovation when he came out, which I was very surprised, because you only ever get them reactions for Naito. Naito only gets the huge reactions. So he is going to be a standout. I can see him having a great G1, if I'm honest. And then them two were fighting the Bullet Club War Dogs leader David Finlay, and Kenta, who is Hideo Kojima. Hideo, not Kojima. That's the guy that made Metal Gear. Itami.
That is the guy from Metal Gear. Yeah, you're right there.
So he was a huge. So Kenta was a huge name in Pro Wrestling Noah, and then he left to do WWE, and it didn't go his way, and then he went back to NJ, and since then he's come back to NJ. He's been a big star again in Japan, but I don't know if it's him or where he's positioned. He's always been positioned around the mid card, which I found quite weird. He's never been positioned up at the top of the card fighting for the main belts, which is very, very, very odd. But yeah, so he's currently the tag team champ. He holds the heavyweight versions of the tag team titles in NJ with Chase Owens. Say they're the tag team champions at the moment. But in this match, I think, like I said before, it's just a tick over match. It's just to put big names on the card, keep everything ticking over, keep everyone, because it was Yota's first, Suji's first match in America as well. So I think this was sort of keeping him introduction to the US fans and stuff as well. But yeah, it was very meh. It was just a normal match. So that's why it is going to go in meh. But yeah, the big beef at the minute is there's two people in this match that I don't understand the booking for him currently. I don't understand the hype behind David Finlay. He's not a leader of Bullet Club for me. He was Juice Robinson's tag team partner before I stopped watching, and then I've come back and he's the leader of one of the top factions in the last 10 years. That's got multiple big names in it, like throughout history, and I just don't get. But then, so LIJ have been fighting Bullet Club for the last couple of months, and they had the weirdest Royal Rumble. So it was Royal Rumble, but like War Games. So you have one person come out from one team, one person come out from another team, and then it went like that, but it's over the top rope and not a pinfall.
So they couldn't throw anyone out until the full teams were in?
No, so you could still throw people out.
Oh, so it was like DX versus the Corporation in '99 Royal Rumble.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely spot on. I forgot all about that match, but that match is exactly what happened.
Right, got you.
So they introduced a guy called Jake Lee, who's apparently in Wrestling Noah, and he was a massive deal. He's supposedly a massive deal over there, and he came out, and no one cared. I've heard silence in NJPW as a respectful thing, but it was a silence that no one gave a shit. And I thought it had kind of gone away because he weren't mentioned during last week's show whatsoever. So so we've debuted him. It's not gone well, so we're going to call and let Naito maybe crack on and do something else. Because the thing was, missed the point. Bullet Club hired him to take out Naito. Essentially, that was the storyline. So I kind of thought it went away because Naito beat him in that match. He threw him over the top rope and won the match. So I'm like, right, so that's over and done with now. Failed experiment, cool. Everyone moves on. But apparently we are getting a singles match by the looks of things at the next NJPW between him and Naito, which I'm not sure why we're carrying on that route, because Naito could be doing bigger and better things, whereas he's stuck with Jake Lee for some reason. And like I say, David Finlay, it's
Brogan better? Because Brogan's in NXT.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing he's nowhere near what his dad was fit. But is Brogan better than Dave, or is Dave better than Brogan, would you say? Or are they about the same?
See, I'd say they're about the same, mate. And that's
okay.
They're about the same. But
I've only seen Brogan once in NXT, and it was against Sean Spears at Roadblock.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've ever seen of Brogan.
And you think where Dave is compared to Brogan?
Yeah.
And I've not. So Dave Finlay were really good with Juice, but I don't know if that's my memory. Knowing memory, like it's a bit like the Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, where one's really good and the other one's okay, but they both look spectacular when you put them next to each other. So I don't know. So you were really good in Fin Juice, and Fin Juice were jokes because the whole gimmick was around drinking beer and partying, which was a very odd thing for Japan, as they're very respectful, and that's what made them great. So, but yeah, I can talk about LIJ all day, so I will probably leave that there before just to save all you guys your time.
Then Zack Sabre Jr. against Tanahashi.
So
obviously Zack Sabre Jr. I've not been one to hide my feelings. I feel I hate his matches. They're so boring. It's unreal because they're not my cup of tea. I mean, I'm a WWE guy, so I like the entertainment part of it. But like, I don't like watching him. Whereas Tanahashi, I've watched Tanahashi in the AEW a few times. Don't mind him. His style's decent. But what was the match like?
This match was incredible. It was incredible. This is. I don't know where to put this. So when I came into this was I had an S rank and an A rank. So I'm going to put it in fantastic because this match was really, really good, but it's not as good as the other two that I've put in S. In Dave Meltzer's 5-star matches. I'd probably put it higher than the women's, but it's not as good as it's not as good as the other two that are going to go up there. Tanahashi is in such good shape. To say the guy's helping run the business legitimately.
How old is he?
Like Tanner, I think he's like 40. He's got to be in his 40s.
47. He doesn't look it.
Yeah, he's ripped. The shape he's in right now. He's in. I don't know who's he's getting in his personal trainer, but he's fucking putting in the work. And he looks. So Tanner over the last few years, like even in NJPW, his work's not been as good as it has been in the past. Like this match, I don't know if it's Zack Sabre Jr., but he looked really good last week as well against Nick Nemeth. I'm going to keep calling him Ziggles by accident, and I apologise to everyone involved. But Dolph the match he had with Nick Nemeth, he was incredible in that as well. But it was just such a good back and forth match. I know you're not that asked about the technical side, but he countered Zack Sabre Jr.'s like that sort of wrestling with his own style, with that style of wrestling as well, and it was really, really good back and forth. It was really, really good. It was a very good technical match. It was very good back and forth. A couple of nice false finishes, like Tanahashi hit his high fly flow, which is like a frog splash, is his finishing move. Like Zack Sabre Jr. rolled through into like a pin, and it was just it were two veterans, two very good legends, mate. Like at the top of the game, because Zack Sabre Jr. lost his television title, and Tanner lost the global championship, and it was just this match for Zack Sabre Jr. was to keep him. He was like, I want to verse the best. I've never really beat. We've always had these matches, and it's always been very close. And I feel I need another match with you to get me back on track. So I think this match where he gets Zack Sabre Jr. back on track. Tanahashi, like I say, he's the president of the company. It doesn't really matter win or lose at the minute. Like he don't really need the wins. So it's pretty cool to see him putting someone over, because Tanahashi in the past has been like known for not wanting to take an L. So it's quite nice to see him. He's very much like Super Cena in a way. So
hates him then.
Yeah, so we're getting to that point, but he's back on top form again now. But yeah, he was very, very good in that match, mate.
So it's not that I don't like the technical side of it. I need to be invested into the person. So, for instance, I always go back to one match, and I'm sorry for bringing them up. On Velocity in 2005, it sounds stupid because it was so long ago, but I always go back to the match. So wrestling fans at the time were begging for a wrestling match, just a pure technical wrestling match, because it was just all John Cena and Batista and Triple H. It was all just entertainment and normal WWE matches.
Mm-hmm.
So on Velocity, the main event was Chris Benoit versus William Regal.
Wow,
mate, it's and I don't mention it enough. It's one of my favorite matches I've ever watched, because I love William Regal. I absolutely adore William Regal. I think what he's done for the business and just in terms of his wrestling style, and it pissed me off he's never won a main championship anyway. And Benoit, we obviously don't go on about Benoit the person. Benoit the wrestler, one of the best technical wrestlers there has ever been. So that match for me banged, and I was intrigued. Then when you have someone like a Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson. Sorry, don't kill me, people.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson for me is one of my favorite AEW wrestlers. He was one of my favorite WWE wrestlers. One of my favorite AEW wrestlers. I'll go and watch any of his matches. I just think the match between him and Ospreay at Dynasty, fucking immense. Loved it.
It was incredible.
So, because I'm a dislike to Zack Sabre Jr., I think that's why I don't like any of his matches, and it always comes back to, I think it was WCPW in Manchester in Bowls. I went to go and meet him, and as I went up to his table, he kind of just closed up and walked off.
Oh shit! Okay.
And there was a bit of a queue, not like a long queue. There was like a 10-minute queue or something, because people were taking pictures, getting things signed after the thing. And I queued up a little bit because I thought I liked the match he had. I think it was against Ricochet. And he just closed up and went, and it pissed me off. But then
I got the same thing.
Somebody else was. Oh no, Jay Lethal. Sorry, Jay Lethal was next to him. Jay Lethal stayed open for me, and that was sick. And then I thought, ever since then, I was like, do you know what? Fuck yeah, I can't be arsed with you. So just me, though.
So I've got the exact same thing. What's his fucking? Do you know Eddie Edwards?
Yes.
So do you know his tag team partner? No, David. Is it David?
David
Richards. Is it David? Yeah, David Richards.
Yeah.
I had the exact same thing. So we were out, because I've got a couple of friends that are wrestlers, and we were out and he were out, and I wanted a picture with him, and even though we were out all together, he were trying to make me pay for a picture with him, even though we weren't at an event.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, nah, you're just a bell end, and that ruined me for him. But yeah, and who else? See, no, you had a nice experience with Jay Lethal.
Mm-hmm.
I had a not great experience with Jay Lethal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was with Colt Cabana, and I was paid to see Colt Cabana. I was chatting with Colt, and Jay Lethal came up to him, and I just went, "Hey, you're right, Jay," and he just blanked me and carried on talking to Colt. Shit. So like, okay, cool, no worries, that's fine. Kind of knew my place, but yeah, he really pissed me off. So yeah, you can do it. And obviously the history with Bully Ray as well. I've got. Yes. I don't know if you've told this. I think I've told you the story. I think it's well. What happened was he was very lazy at a signing I went to. He refused to get up out of his chair to take a picture. He literally fist bumped me. Yeah, and then refused to stand up, and I had to take a picture at his level, and that was it. But yeah,
a few wrestlers do that. WWE do well. I don't know if they do it anymore, but I remember I just remember seeing pictures on Twitter and YouTube and stuff of people getting photos, and they've got to go down to their level, like Strowman or someone like, maybe because they're that massive, and it just, I don't know, but yeah, I know, I agree. You get up. Mick Foley was, I mean, it's Mick Foley, so I'm not holding anything against Mick Foley, but when I went to go and get the book signed, Little Lockdown one is the TNA Lockdown. What was the book called?
Oh,
Something to Lockdown.
Anyway, I know what you're on about, and I can't think of the name of it myself.
I can't remember the name of it. It's in my freaking drawer, hidden away, because it's one of my prized possessions. I queued up for like 5 hours to go and meet him, to get the book signed, and I had to go down to his level. But that's Mick Foley. I can with Mick Foley. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's acceptable.
If it's like a Jay Lethal, Zack Sabre Jr., someone like that, I'm like, Bully Ray, though, I'm surprised with Bully Ray, because he seems like he comes off as a nice guy.
So when I actually saw him not too long ago, for wrestling, not this year, last year, yes. And my friend paid to meet him, and he stood for the kid in front of us, but he didn't stand. Right. He didn't stand for my mate George. So I think it is how he feels on the day.
On the day. Yeah. He looks like an on the day kind of guy.
So he was a bit now the back in it, I don't know if he was practicing for what he was going to be. But Jack Perry was a bit of a dick to my mate George. He was saying he was jet lagged and really bony when we met him.
I used to be pissed off. Have you said anything about Jack Perry? Because I used to hate Jack Perry, but after what he's done to Tony Khan, he's the GOAT and I love him to bits. And the elite, and I thought I'd never say that in my life. If anyone knows me, they know I hate the Young Bucks. Cannot stand the wrestling style, the tag team style. It's just not for me. The super kicks. I know the Usos were the same, and Usos originally weren't like that, and then they started to get into that super kick. Yeah, it annoys me. Okay. Jeff Cobb, Lance Archer, NJPW World TV title.
So it's time for them big beefy boys. It's time for them big beefy boys.
We like a bit of meat.
We do, mate. So the one thing I will say about, I don't know if you know much about the television title. He gets the matches are 15 minutes maximum. That's if it goes to 15 minutes, it's a draw. The champion retains. So the matches are generally really fast paced. So remember, I just said to you that these are two very beefy boys.
Yes.
Matt, the first move in this match was Jeff Cobb doing a Spanish fly. So the first move of this match between two beefy boys was Jeff Cobb Spanish flying Lance Archer.
Fuck off.
Yeah. So that's where it started, and it didn't slow down from there. And Lance Archer were throwing. So they have sorry, one more explanation point, just so you get what I mean. So the Young Lions, they have them at the ringside, like they're doing generally work around the ring, like they come and make sure everyone's okay after the match and things. So they stand ringside. Lance Archer, I don't think he didn't hit one of them. Like he punched him or threw him at Jeff Cobb. He used them as weapons, and they were basically doing Lance Archer things. So literally we started off with a Spanish fly, and we went from there, and it was just off to the races, and it was just so fast paced. It was ridiculous. It was the fastest paced match I've ever seen between two big men. It were absolutely fucking nuts. It was so good, and it was just when he did that from the off, when Jeff Cobb, because Jeff Cobb's, I want to say he's a bigger lad like me and you.
Yeah, he is.
So him doing a Spanish fly, he's fucking impressive.
Yeah,
and then he was doing like standing moonsaults and things like that. It fucking blew my mind.
And doing it to Archer as well. Archer's like a tall guy. He's known like cruiserweight.
Yeah, exactly. To be fair, mate, that just for that first move, it went up to 8. It were in fantastic, like from the off. It's at the bottom of fantastic, but it went up there straight away, and it was just a great match. Cobb got he hit him with his, it's like a Tour of the Mountains. I don't know if Tour of the Islands, sorry. So he like swings them one way, and then swings them back the other, like for a power slam. So he like cradles him and then power slams him, and he got Archer up for that. And it was like he's so strong, he's so fast, and I can't wait to see where they go with this television title with Jeff Cobb, because over the last few months, like since I'm coming back and watching this, Jeff Cobb's got a fantastic personality, because he was trying to make it. So a couple of the guys got injured for the Super Juniors, and you have to be 150 kg. I think it's pounds or kg, one of the two. You basically there's a weight limit, and Jeff Cobb's like a good 100 kg over, and he was getting upset that NJPW wouldn't let him in the best of the Super Juniors, and he was making it known that he were very upset that they wouldn't let him join. And so then he started. There's a guy in United Empire with him called Akira, who's really, really light. And he was saying, "Can I make Akira lose weight? And I'll take the 100 pounds that he potentially loses. I'll take that off my weight, and then I can be a Super Junior."
Okay.
So he was really good. They have him on commentary. So, generally what happens is with the Japanese, especially in not really these shows, but the Japanese side, they'll have one guy commentating on his own, and then halfway through the show, when the matches get a bit more serious, they have a wrestler come out. It's either Jeff Cobb, El Phantasmo does it, Chase Owens does it. They generally have a wrestler with him, and I love it when Jeff Cobb gets on commentary, because he's He's just funny, man. He's just joke. You can
He
tell that
surely
he's having
can't
a
be
good time.
better than CM Punk on commentary.
No one's good. No one's good. No one's as good as CM Punk on commentary.
But he says it himself.
Exactly. But yeah, so 15 minutes, mate, of just high-paced, big man,
Nice.
doing big things.
Big beefy men. Then we had the Never Openweight Championship. Now I don't know either of these.
Do you want me to take over the name of these?
Yeah, you go on. You go do it before I butcher the names.
Shingo Takagi versus Yuya Uemura. So
Okay.
it's all the U's in the second one.
It is.
So
Where's Yoshitatsu? That's my question.
he was somewhere. Where did I see him recently?
Where's Yoshitatsu or Tajiri?
Tajiri sometimes does knock about in NJ. Actually, someone that isn't here that you will know, Taka Michinoku is an NJ.
No way, it's Taka.
Taka's he's in a faction called Just Five Guys, and he's one of the five guys, obviously. Right. So he's actually Yuya Uemura is one of Taka's boys. So he's the so
like that.
Next time he's on a card, I'll send you the video so you can watch old
Please.
Taka, because he can still go. Like Taka
Taka
Michinoku's got
sick.
some of the best named moves like that I've ever heard.
The
So
Michinoku driver was sick, by the way. What a fucking move that was.
it was, man. It's so good. It's quite cool how more people use that in his honor now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does a move. You know, like Orange Cassidy does the kicks like to the legs, the half-assed ones. They're quite annoying. Yeah. So Taka does one. It's called the Sweet Shin music, where he kicks him full on in the shin instead. And it's mint that's just the name of that move. Like, I don't know how they've got away with that. Like instead of the Sweet Chin music, it's the Sweet Shin, and that's like his setup move for one of his finishes, and it's just amazing.
He's 50 years old, Taka. Sorry.
He still goes, mate. He still goes, really.
As if that's mental.
He's really, really good. Him and hey, absolute legends. So Matt, you'll love this title. So Never Openweight is generally where the big beefy boys fight in big beefy ways.
Love that.
Yeah. So, and Takagi is one of the last tough guys in NJ. No, like Shinsuke brought in the strong style. Like Shingo's probably one of the last that are there that still wrestle that sort of hard hitting style. And I love Shingo. Shingo's like one of my favorites. I've not got my Shingo shirt on today. I've got my Shota shirt on, but it's but yeah, Shingo. I met him yet again. There was a really good Red Pro show. Like they had all of LIJ. So they had Sanada Evil, Shingo. They had Hiromu, Bushi, and Naito on a card at the is it Victoria? Is it O2 Victoria? The one that's on the bridge. I think it's near Old Trafford. It is near Old Trafford. But yeah, he was there, and they had them all. And do you know the Seven Nation Army chant that they chant? They were going, "Oh, Shingo Takagi," and he were fucking loving life. He came out and he were buzzing with everybody. So I've loved Shingo since then. But yeah, when Shingo hits someone, you wins. It's like that's hurting. That's no way. That's not hurting whatsoever. But yeah, then Yuya, is they've got a weird championship. I don't know if I spoke about this match yet with you. Yuya Uemura has just had the best 3 stages of hell match I've ever had, like stipulation wise.
All right.
So
what are the matches?
Round 1 was a tire match. I know what you think. I can see from their face, confused about what that is. So there's a cone in one corner, there's a cone in the other corner, and there's in the aisle, like in a ladder match, there's a stack of tires, and it's the first one to stack 4 tires before your opponent. You've got to fight over these tires. It's the first one to get 4 tires on their cone. So that's round 1. Right. Round 2, a lemon eating contest. So
it sounds very much NXT 2010. This.
Yeah, it very much is. So they ran out with a table after the first round. Ran out with a table and the legit lemon. And I'll be honest, Great O'Khan, who isn't on this card, he chomped a lemon, like just skin and all, just 3 bites. He
Hey.
did it. It were impressive. It were impressive. Then the last round was a table match, which is yet again another random. NJPW don't do tables or hardcore matches very often. So a table match is just random as hell. But yeah, it was the greatest 15, 20 minutes of wrestling I've seen in a long time. Just out of sheer hilarity. Because the tire match was just I've never seen that stipulation. I don't know if it'd be ever used again. But
that reminds me of WWE using chairs, not chairs, steps. You remember in tables, ladders, and chairs and stairs?
Yeah.
The TLC.
Jesus, yeah. That got used one and done. I think this is good. I don't think the tire match or the lemon eating contest are going to take off in a wrestling capacity. I'm not going to lie.
Tony Khan could book it. Yeah,
he could, but it wouldn't be as great as what that match was. But so that's why Uemura is is in there, because he's just won the King of Pro Wrestling belt. So that's why he's in there. But he's really good. He's a young guy. He's just come up from the Young Lions, and he's not on the level of Shingo, like Narita and Suji, but he's up. He'll be something good for NJ. He's a good bit of talent that's coming in there. But yeah, he got absolutely slapped by Shingo. But it was a really, really good match. But it was just good. It weren't out overly special. I think yet again, because at the end of the match, Shingo had Suji's belt, not Suji, fucking Yuya's belt. So I think this is another one where they're setting up for something further down the line. So I'll give them that. And now we're on to two of the best matches I've seen in a long time.
Okay. Well, the first one is Gabe Kidd versus Eddie Kingston in a no ropes last man standing match with a strong open weight title.
So have you seen much of Gabe Kidd?
So he was in WCPW as Gabriel Kidd.
Yeah.
I've watched him a lot. Well, I watched him in WCPW. I also watched him in Preston City Wrestling when he was there a few times. And my friend, at the time he was my friend, long story, kept calling him a knobhead because we were always ringside for him, and he just used to always give him shit. And then after, I think on one of the last ever WCPWs, he just came up and shook his hand and was like, "You've been here all the way." So I know Gabe Kidd. I've watched some of his work. Eddie, yeah, you know my thoughts on Eddie Kingston.
So this match was incredible. Like, it would just, yeah, again, very similar to where we're off to the races, fucking real quick.
Yeah.
So Eddie Kingston was busted open with about 3 moves. I think 3 moves in, Eddie Kingston were already bleeding. Which
so did Tony Khan book this then, yeah?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Actually, no, he could never book anything as good as this. And it's so hard hitting. Like, they were just hitting every. If there was something in that stadium that they could use as a weapon, they were using it. And they had a barbed wire chair. They had what else did they have? They had a stop sign, obviously, because why not? You had chairs. You had tables. You had ladders. You had literally everything that you could go off, and it was just. I'm very much like you, I'm a huge Gabe Kidd fan. I've followed his work in What Culture Pro Wrestling. I've followed his work when he was in the UK. I watched him in Rev Pro, and then I've watched him since I've coming back. And if you're looking for someone to watch, and that's a bit different from everyone else, Gabe Kidd's your guy to follow, because I think he ticks a lot of boxes, Gabe Kidd.
Yeah.
He can wrestle a lot of different styles, and he looks great doing it. And so in this match, they hit each other with everything, including the kitchen sink at one point, I think. But yeah, the end of the match. So it's a last man standing match with no ropes. So there's no ropes on the side of the ring. It's just you scrapping. And what we're really good about this, and you don't see it enough in last man standing matches, because last man standing is supposed to be when both opponents hate each other, and this is the thing to finish off the rivalry.
The final match to end it all.
So the referee were counting and potentially would have been out for the 10, but they kept stopping the referee from counting and carrying on beating each other up.
Yeah.
So, which I thought were like it made it make sense. It made the match make sense. It's something I've not seen in the Last Man Standing where they just walk away and leave him on their own. It's like, no, if you hated him that much, you'd be all over him, wanting to make sure you were.
Yeah.
He would like. So it was really cool that would thing. So the end, actually, Eddie took a horrible bump here, which you'll love to see. So obviously,
shame.
Yeah. So Eddie brought out the handcuffs, handcuffed himself to Gabe. There were a table on the ringside area. They were in the ring. He went to go and do his pile driver move off the table, off the ring apron. Then Gabe sort of reversed it and then hit him with a suplex, out of the ring onto the floor. But there's no ropes off to stop him, and they went through a table, and Eddie whacked his leg off the guardrail, and then so they were obviously all down at that point, and Kid got up with 1 second left to go, so he got up at 9. Kingston stayed down for the 10, and we've got a new never NJPW strong openweight champion in Gabe Kidd, which is always good. And this is going in.
Tony Khan's going to be a little bit upset, isn't he, with Kingston losing the title?
Yeah, exactly. That's all his belts now, I believe. He's not got any.
Has he not got any now?
So Continental went to Okada. Gabe's just took his NJ, the open weight, and then has he still got the Ring of Honor? I'll be honest, guys.
No, I think he lost that.
Yeah, to Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe beat him.
Mark Briscoe won it. Yeah. So he's not got any titles left.
So he's got none anymore. So Tony's going to be crying in his.
John ain't going to be happy.
No, he's going to be fuming. I'm expecting. I've kind of left him alone. I'm expecting some abuse on Tuesday. I'm expecting him to come out guns blaring.
He will do when he sees this video and sees us slagging off Eddie Kingston.
But yeah,
well,
a 5. Anyway. 5. Then obviously afterwards, we're gonna have to address that 2 other people that you hate. Well, 3 people that turned up. So Eddie were getting up after Gabe had celebrated in the ring and walked to the back, and Jack Perry started walking down to the ring. Jack Perry got in, kicks his face. Obviously, they're due to face off Anarchy in the arena. Then who should jump them? Jump Eddie Kingston. It's your boys, the Young Bucks, turned up on NJPW for the first time in 5 years since Wrestle Kingdom 13. Sorry, ladies and gents. And they turned up and ran down the crowd. Matt were doing his normal stick. It was great. We were like, "Oh, it's lovely to be here, but I don't think we're ever going to be here again because we're a bit above this." So taking the piss out of the crowd, shitting on NJ, and then they hit the EVP trigger to knock out Eddie Kingston again, which is great news for me and Matt because, like they say, I can take Eddie Kingston, take him or leave him. Don't really mind either way, but I always like seeing him getting hit and having these sort of matches. So they were happy days for me as well. So, but yeah, 5-star Dave Meltzer. I don't understand if he gives it any lower than that, it's a scam because the shit that they did in that match. Yeah, fair to be honest. Yeah.
To be fair, he did just give AJ and Cody 5-star.
Which that now worries me because I don't think he'll give this. I don't think he'll give this a 5. He deserves a 5, and I think after you watch even you'll say.
The Young Bucks as the Young Bucks, I don't like. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I said before, I hate the tag team style. Don't like it. Don't get it. But the Young Bucks as the EVPs and this thing they've got going on, I hate saying this, and John's gonna rub it in my face when he watches this. I'm kind of digging it. I'm kind of liking it.
Same.
I like how heel they are. I like how. Well, first off, I like what they've done to fucking Tony Khan. But it's made them have a different. Made me look at them in a different light than just these guys that just do super kicks and.
Yeah, it fleshes out the character for me. It fleshes them out a bit more.
every now and again, a wrestler that's had the same character for so long needs to change up. Jericho is the perfect person that you look at for that, apart from this learning tree shit that he's doing now. He's always tried to change it and stay relevant. Matt Hardy, at points in his career, has done the same. Obviously, Barry's latest stuff in AEW, he's tried to change it up, and Triple H stayed the same. There was no change in Triple H, but he didn't need to because of the person he was. Like, it's great you can do that, and that's what they've done. And I'm liking what they're doing. I'm liking the heel persona. I'm liking, and I never used to. Again, John makes fun of me for this. I never used to like Kenny Omega, and now on AEW, he's probably my favorite wrestler, bar Adam Copeland, on there.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued to see what happens when he gets back fully fit, if he does get back fully fit.
I'm hoping he does.
I'm
hoping he does.
Yeah, me too. And then the main event.
So
take it away.
So this match, right? This is probably the best match I've seen. I put this up there with Cody and Roman, in a sheer storytelling. In a storytelling. This story's been 5 years in the making. So I know you don't like Mox, but I'm gonna have to give you a little bit of bump about Mox.
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
So when Mox first came into NJPW, he had a match with Shota, and he liked Shota's style. He knew Shota were going to be a big deal, so he took Shota under his wing, and took him as a student. So this is where your origins of the Blackpool Combat Club kind of comes from.
Okay.
So his relationship with Wheeler, this is where it started with Shota. So this match has been 5 years in the making, where every time John Moxley comes back, he tags with Utah. He tags with Shota, and he has been helping Shota get better and better and better. That's the story. So when Mox beat Naito for the belt, you were like, right, it's been 5 years under my tutelage. I say, this is your final test now. It's me versus you for the title. And literally this match, with the storytelling, was amazing. It was it reminded me of an old samurai, an old samurai film where it's your master versus the student, and it's they're all back and forth. It's it's swaying one way or the other, and it was such a beautifully crafted match. It's just, they were even when there were rest pits, it was just all storytelling, which is very rare, I find, in wrestling nowadays. It's hard to tell a story in the ring. It's a lot of talking and things like that get the stories over. Whereas this were a lot of the in-ring work, things they were doing. Shota were using moves that he's had over the years, since being with Mox, and he wanted to beat Mox with the Death Rider, which is, what's the fucking word? His finisher in NJ. His finisher in AEW, no, the DDT does. It's called something else in AEW, but it's the Death Rider in NJ. And they wanted to beat Mox with his own move, and that would have been the passing of the torch moment for him. And that's what ultimately led to Shota losing the match. He hit his finishing move, which is the blazing. What's his fucking move? Sorry, mate. I've got it written down. The Blaze Blade. So it's the hidden blade that Osprey does. No, it's so that's one of Shota's moves as well. And he hit him with that, and Moxley were out, and he should have gone for the pin, but he going back up to hit him with the DDT. And then Mox had been working on Shota's arm, and when he went to put him up for the Death Rider, he yanked his arm down, and then he hit him with the super Death Rider, where he near enough spikes on the head, and that was the end of the match. But me, I've not. It was just 30 went for half an hour, and Mox didn't bleed once. So, it was such an incredible match. I can't do it justice with the words that I could put you. Just don't do it justice. It was just such an incredible match, and it just showcased Shota is the next. He's up there with Okada for me. He could be the next Okada. Everything keeps going on the same trajectory, he could be the next Okada, like big time. And I've got a feeling with something that got mentioned in the the VTs. He was like, if after I win the belt, I want to fight Okada. So he didn't win the belt, but I've got a feeling maybe at Forbidden Door we're going to get Shota versus Okada, which I'm very interested in that match. I'd be very, very interested. But then after the match, we got the biggest, like the big payoff, like the respect between the two, like the bowing to each other. And then, unfortunately, House of Torture came down to the ring. Evil and Ren Narita. Obviously, Shota and Mox were both knackered from a half an hour wrestling. And then Evil proclaimed himself as the real world champion, picked up the title belt, sprayed it black, and then proclaimed himself as the real president of the NJPW. I'm not sure if he's got the executive. I don't know if he's the EVP that he can make them sort of calls on his own, but I don't think he's got the. I don't think he's got them credentials. So, well, it looks to be that's the next like feud is going to be Mox versus Evil, which means that Shota will probably go back to fighting Ren Narita, which isn't a bad thing because they have bangers when they fight each other. So I'll take that in the meantime. But what I'm hoping is, because this year they've kind of been building this new generation, which is like Shota, Ren, and Tsuji. That's like the next generation. That's like what they're calling themselves. So what I'm hoping is at Wrestle Kingdom next year in January, the match, I'm hoping that maybe Shota Yuji will win the G1. Then they'll have like a fatal four-way, the three main talents, the three new generation versus Mox for the title in a fatal four-way. I don't mind Mox holding onto the belt for that long, because after NJ is really strange. So they have the G1 in sort of August, like July, August, and then it kind of doesn't do anything. The pay-per-views are not. They have like tag team pay-per-views. They have like the World Tag League and things like that.
Oh, really?
And then it rolls through to Wrestle Kingdom from there. So after August, September, there's not really much NJPW like main event wise. It's all tag team wrestling, which Vince would turn over in his grave because that's like it's the G1 just for tag teams. So
tag team wrestling. Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's what you're gonna get. But yeah, that you need. If you don't watch any of the other parts of the card, just go and watch that Mox match because it's. I gave it an A. I gave everything else like an A. I'd say, but I'd put if I could, I'd make another like section for that Mox versus Shota match because it was amazing. It blew me away.
It's one on its own.
Yeah, it was
the Teddy approved.
Yeah,
we'll do
the
that
Teddy
one next.
Yeah, the like Ted's match of the year candidates like it go up there all day. It was so good. But yeah, mate, that I just like you can tell like now I just can't put any more words into it to do it justice.
Fair play, man. Fair play. Sounds like a really good pay-per-view. I will watch it. I will have it on in the background tomorrow, I think, while I'm working. But well, that was New Japan Pro Wrestling Resurgence. Sounds like a fantastic card. So if you're you want to get into New Japan, I'm gonna start watching a bit more now. Obviously, Teddy's doing stuff. I'm gonna watch his videos when he does them. Well, I have to do anyway. I'm editing them. Yeah, there's gonna be more from Teddy with New Japan. He's gonna let me know when it all is, and then we can just plan it in, and we can do this kind of thing, or I can just do a video on his own. You guys let us know in the comment section below what you want going forward from us. Teddy's first video has done amazing. So thank you for all you guys that have watched it. So thank you for everyone that's watched it. Really appreciate it. Teddy's first video. It was only 5 minutes long, but it was just a quick how New Japan Pro Wrestling works. So, like I said, go and watch that. Give some love to Teddy. Go and watch all our other videos. Matt V. Johns. We've done other tier lists, prediction videos, my reactions to Backlash that's just been. There will be one for Saudi for the King and Queen. It's Janitors next Saturday.
Okay.
I am currently going to be watching it, and then it's the FA Cup final.
Oh, no.
So, it's the FA Cup final first, and then it's that. So, whether I'm going to be in a good mood or not, ladies and gents, it's a different matter. But yeah, as I said before, all the names for the socials are all in below. If you go into the description below, click them. If you can't, let me know and I can just fix them. If you want any of your merch, as it says at the top there, we're affiliated by WWE EuroShop and Fanatics, so click the link in the description below to get all your EuroShop needs. But Teddy, I'll let you have the final word.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, you put me on the spot. Right, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Click all the links, but most importantly, tell somebody that you love them, guys. You have a lovely rest of your day. Bye.
Peace.